They thought you were too weak to handle the pressure, but they didn't know you were turning adversity into strength. Now, they'll witness the incredible power you've harnessed. They believed your struggles would be your downfall, but they didn't see the resilience forming within you. What you've achieved next will make them realize just how wrong they were. They thought you were too fragile to overcome the obstacles, but they didn't know you were silently preparing to triumph. What you've done will show them the true strength of your spirit. They saw your quiet demeanor and assumed it was a sign of weakness, but they didn't understand that it was the calm before the storm. What you've accomplished will blow them away. They thought you were too soft to endure the hardships, but they didn't realize your softness was the foundation of your strength. Now, they'll see the remarkable power that came from your kindness. They underestimated your capacity for greatness, thinking you'd falter under pressure. When they see your achievements, they'll understand that you were always destined for more. They believed you were too weak to stand tall, but you've turned every challenge into a stepping stone. What you've done will make them rethink everything they thought they knew about you. They thought you were too sensitive to handle the trials, but they didn't see the fortitude behind your sensitivity. Now, they'll be astounded by the strength you've shown. They assumed you would be crushed by the weight of the world, but they didn't realize you were quietly growing stronger. What you've done next will leave them speechless. They thought you were too fragile to face the storms, but they didn't know you were weathering them with grace. Now, they'll see the true strength that lies beneath your exterior. They saw your initial struggles and thought you'd never recover, but they didn't know you were building an unbreakable foundation. When they see your next move, they'll be in awe. They thought your quiet strength was a sign of weakness, but they failed to see the depth of your resilience. Now, they'll witness the powerful transformation you've achieved. They underestimated your potential, thinking you would falter under pressure, but they didn't realize you were rising to the challenge. What you've accomplished will prove them wrong. They thought you were too vulnerable to succeed, but they didn't know that your vulnerability was your greatest asset. When they see what you've done, they'll be amazed. They assumed your setbacks would define you, but they didn't understand that you were redefining yourself. What you've achieved next will challenge their perceptions of your strength. They thought your struggles would keep you down, but they didn't know you were building an unshakable resolve. Now, they'll see the incredible power that emerged from your challenges. They believed you were too soft to handle the pressures of life, but they didn't realize you were secretly becoming stronger. What you've done next will surprise and inspire them. They saw your moments of doubt and assumed you were weak, but they didn't know those moments were the precursor to your greatest triumphs. Now, they'll see the strength you've gained. They thought you were too fragile to overcome the obstacles in your path, but they didn't see the strength you were quietly cultivating. What you've achieved will show them your true power. They underestimated the depth of your inner strength, thinking you'd crumble under pressure. When they see your accomplishments, they'll realize they were wrong about your capabilities. They thought you were too weak to handle adversity, but they didn't see the fire in your soul. What you've done next will reveal the extraordinary strength you've developed. They believed you would give up when things got tough, but they didn't know you were just getting started. What you've achieved will make them rethink their assumptions about you. They thought your gentle nature meant you couldn't handle challenges, but they were mistaken. When they see what you've accomplished, they'll understand the true power behind your grace. They saw your struggles and thought you were defeated, but they didn't realize you were transforming those struggles into strength. What you've done next will astonish them. They thought you were too weak to overcome the hurdles in your path, but they didn't see the resilience building within you. Now, they'll be amazed by the strength you've shown. They underestimated your fortitude, believing you'd falter under pressure. What you've achieved will prove them wrong and reveal the incredible power you've harnessed. They thought you were too delicate to face the trials, but they didn't realize that your delicate exterior hid a powerhouse within. What you've done will leave them in awe. They thought you were too fragile to handle the challenges, but little did they know you were only gathering strength in silence. Now, they're about to witness the fire in your spirit that can't be extinguished. They underestimated your heart, thinking you were too soft to endure the storms. But wait until they see the mountains you've moved with sheer determination and love in your soul. They assumed your silence was weakness, but they failed to see that you were plotting your rise. Now, your actions are speaking louder than any words, and they won't believe what you've accomplished. They thought you would crumble under pressure, but the strength you've shown is beyond their imagination. Soon, they'll realize you were never weak. You were just waiting for the right moment to rise. They doubted your resilience, but they didn't know the depth of your inner power. When they see what you've done, they'll realize that your love and determination are unstoppable forces. They mistook your kindness for weakness, but they're about to learn that your compassion is your greatest strength. What you've achieved will leave them in awe of the power behind your gentle heart. They thought your emotions would break you, but you've channeled your feelings into something extraordinary. When they witness your growth, they'll be left speechless by the warrior within you. They never thought you'd make it through the struggle, but you've transformed every challenge into a stepping stone. They're about to be stunned by how far you've come and the greatness you've achieved. They believed you were too vulnerable to succeed, but your vulnerability was your secret weapon. It allowed you to connect with your true self and rise stronger than they ever imagined. They saw your tears and assumed you were defeated, but they didn't realize those tears were watering the seeds of your victory. Now, they'll see how far you've grown and how powerful you truly are. They doubted your ability to rise after the fall, but they didn't understand the resilience of your heart. What you've accomplished next will leave them in awe, realizing they were wrong all along. They thought they'd seen the end of you, but you were just getting started. Now, they'll witness the unstoppable force you've become, and they won't believe how you turned your pain into power. They underestimated your quiet strength, but soon they'll understand that your silence was never weakness. When they see what you've achieved, they'll realize you were quietly building something magnificent. They assumed you were too fragile to face the world, but they had no idea that your heart was made of steel. Now, they're about to see the incredible strength you've been hiding all along. They believed you would fade into the background, but they didn't know you were preparing to shine brighter than ever. Wait until they see the masterpiece you've created from the pieces they thought were broken. They thought your struggles would break you, but they've only made you stronger. Now, they'll watch in awe as you rise from the ashes, more powerful than they ever imagined. They saw your setbacks and assumed you were done, but they didn't realize you were just reloading. The next chapter of your life will leave them speechless as they see the heights you've reached. They thought your heart was too fragile for this world, but they didn't know that love is the source of your strength. Wait until they see how you've turned heartache into triumph. They thought they had defeated you, but little did they know you were just beginning to find your power. What you've accomplished next will leave them in awe of the unstoppable force you've become. They underestimated the fire within you, but they're about to be burned by their own doubt. You've risen from the flames, and what you've done will leave them speechless. They thought you were too quiet to make an impact, but they didn't realize that your silence was a sign of focus. Now, they'll see that while they doubted, you were creating something extraordinary. They doubted your ability to rise after the storm, but they had no idea you were born for this. What you've done next will show them the power that lies within your soul. They thought you were too weak to fight back, but they didn't realize you were saving your strength for the right moment. Now, they'll see the incredible force you've unleashed on the world. They saw you struggling and assumed you would give up, but they didn't know that your struggles were only fueling your growth. What you've accomplished next will leave them stunned by your strength. They thought they had you figured out, but they didn't realize they were only seeing the surface. When they witness what you've done next, they'll understand the depth of your resilience.